Well, it's Friday the 31st of October 2025, Halloween for those people who are not aware. And look, I'm here all by my very self at the roastery. Everybody is away, so that means I have some elbow room to get on with some work on the Probat. Now, what am I going to try and achieve today? I want to remove the radial fan and have a look inside of that. I might try to spin the drum and have a look inside of the drum, and I want to investigate what parts I have so that I can begin ordering stuff and maybe tinker with some other things. First of all, I need to get my old clothes on because it's probably going to be quite a dirty job, and then I'll go get my tools and we'll get that radial fan off. Right. So let's get these ladders in here. It's been a little while since I've been up. So from what I remember, I've got to disengage this coupling, disengage this coupling, take off the electric. So let's just unplug the machine. Definitely not any power on now. And let's remove these couplings first. Oh, gosh, it's dusty. Okay, number one. Next, let's take this electrics off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to remove the front of this box, expose the terminals and disengage those. That's the terminals. Do you want to have a look? Excuse the cobwebs, but this is the power to the radial fan here. And what I'm going to do is just take off these three terminals here, and you might note that I have numbered them 1, 2 and 3 so that I know which way to put them back on, because of course it drives the fan in a certain direction. I don't want it to get the wrong way around. So let's take those off. Right, that's those off. Let's just pull this out now. There we go, that's totally off now. So that means that the power is disengaged from the actual radial fan, which means that when I take this collar off, I can remove all of this. Let's take this collar off then. Yikes, that's stuck. All right, there we are. Make sure to keep these safe. Let's see if I can do this without damaging. Oh, that's easier to come off than I thought it would be. Now, excuse the cobwebs, all you health and safety execs, shut your eyes. Oh my God, that's heavy. Whoa. And there you have the inner workings of the hot stack flue system. Gosh, look at all that gunk in there. Got to get rid of that. And then inside of the cyclone as well, let's see if we can have a look down. So hot air travels through here, and then the chaff gets pushed around in a cyclonic action here, and it falls into this hole, into the chaff collector beneath, right down there. And then the hot air gets dragged out and up the hot stack, but in its wake, it leaves all this deposit. Good Lord. I mean, this hasn't been touched in, well, 18 months now, hence looking in such bad shape. Well, that's the radial fan disassembled. Let's get this over to the workbench and we'll take it apart. Right. There is the dusty mess of a radial fan. So what have I got to do? I've got to take away these screws, disengage the actual motor, and have a look at the fan element, see about the housing, and I want to test the shaft wobble. This makes an awful lot of noise, and I'll also try and find somewhere the new one, and we'll compare. So let's get these off. Some of these are not even stuck in. So I've either got to re-tap these or just bin the whole thing maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. To be fair, they're coming out pretty okay. I was expecting them to be pretty stuck, but they're not. Maybe I'm just gonna have to pull them apart. We'll see. Oh, I know. I'm gonna have to go upside down. Yeah, those aren't even grabbing, so I'm gonna have to do this the other way around. Never mind. Gosh, this is heavy. Oh, interesting. This is the top side, and you can see the fan bit in there. That spins around, just like so. Seems to be spinning pretty okay. Right, let's get it off from this way, and hopefully that works. All right, underside of the radial fan. Let's have a look on the inside. Okay, this is the radial fan. Hot air comes in here. This spins around, and a whole bunch of gunk gets deposited on the near side, the underside. To be fair, it's not actually that bad. I have seen this a lot worse. But look, we'll take this off. You can hear that wobble. That shouldn't wobble. Anyway, let's take this off and we'll see what's what. Oh, come on, Leo. Whee! And that is the fan. Here is the housing. You can see all the deposits that get left by oil and bits of chaff and stuff like that. So this needs to be cleaned off. This reminds me why it is so good being on the Loring. You don't get this problem with gunk and just detritus everywhere. I spent hundreds of hours of my life cleaning this fan housing. Oh, hideous. I'm just gonna spend 60 seconds scraping some of this away, just to reminisce about the good old days. That's enough. Do you know what? I think that could be a little bit boring, you watching me scrape stuff. So what I'm gonna do is try and locate somewhere in the roastery the new radial fan, and we'll have a look at that. Aha! Ladders. I need ladders. Right, here we go. A new fan. Well, new probably 10 years ago. Oh, let's have a look. What's in this box? Protective stuff. Do you know what? I'm going to put this on the floor and lift it up. Ta-da! One brand spanking new radial fan. Can you see how shiny this is? Look at it. This is a thing of beauty, and I'd argue a very strong reason not to fix up the old fan. So I think I'm gonna bin the tidying up the old fan thing. Maybe I will attempt to get the motor rebalanced and the fan. So maybe I will clean it up, but I'm not gonna do that today. Now, let's have a look at parts. What parts do I have? This is an original box from Probat. I've got no idea what's in it though. Next to nothing. That's a probe, a pipe, a metal mouth thing, and that's about it there. What about in the other boxes? What have we got here? This here says Jacob on it, which means, aha, there's seals for the flue pipes. That's good. I should do an audit of that. And then we've got, that's gas, more gas, another box of stuff. So, interesting. This here, this is the stuff that I use for the union between the chaff bin and the Cyclone, because it was ill-fitted when I first got the Probat. So this here is like heat resistant to, I don't know, 200 degrees Celsius or so, and it's self-adhesive. So that's very important. And then I've got a box of stuff. Let's have a look at the stuff. All right, so we have screws, ignition probes, they're in there somewhere. More things to do with probes, more screws, some stuff. That's for the burner. Nice. Okay, so that's a burner kit of some description. That's good. I'll need that. I thought I had a sight glass. Oh, what's this? I got a feeling this is a new front bearing. Yes. Yes, it is. Brilliant. That means, well, I don't need to order a new front bearing, assuming it's the right one. Yeah, it must be. No, that's not a front bearing. Oh, blast. That's the rear bearing. Maybe it's the Millionaire one. I don't know. I got no idea. Anyway, that part number will tell me what it is. Yeah, this is the rear bearing, not the front bearing. Stupid James. That's the front bearing. There you are. So I got a brand new front bearing. Front bearing, rear bearing. Sight glass. Did I have a new sight glass? Nope. No new sight glass. Well, it looks like I've got some parts to order. But what I'm going to do is, what did I say I was going to do? Radial fan, we're going to bin that off and we're going to put the new one on. I obviously have to clean the flue out, so I'm not going to put that together. Look inside of the drum. Excuse that janky piece of wood, but that is there so that we can look inside of the drum. You can see here that there's a load of deposits. Let's see if we can get some of that off. Yeah, there's a load of deposits there. So there are those deposits. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got stuff around the outside edge here. We've got loads of deposits on the inside, so that all needs to be scraped off. Maybe I can get the drum door open and then let's have a look inside of the drum. Let's get some light in there. Okay, I don't know how much you can see, but there's a bunch of, ooh, there's a spider. So there's obviously quite a bit to do inside of the drum, and actually I'm going to need to take this probe off, take the drum door off. It's quite heavy, two-person, well, it's not a two-person job, but I mean, it is heavy, and I can lift the weight. It's just, I don't want it dropping and banging on other things. So maybe I'll wait until somebody else is around to do this. But obviously inside of all of this faceplate here needs a really good clean and a scrape off. I'll come to that another day because I think that's probably going to take me a couple of hours to do. And like I said, I'm going to need another person here. So radial fan, look inside of the drum, parts audit. What to do next? Do you know what I might do? I've just put my hand inside of the drum and spun the drum around. Shall I turn it on and see whether the motor works? I tell you, first maybe I'll use the hand crank to turn the drum via the rear, and then we'll turn it on. Right, so I've got the hand crank. I put that on the shaft, and let's turn it. Okay, it moves in one direction and moves in the other direction. Come on, let's just turn it on. Right, power back in, turn on. That's my mum and dad. The Probat sign is on, which means there's power. Of course there's power because I used the agitator. Now we're ready. Now, the radial fan's not on, and well, should we just see what happens? Okay, fingers crossed. Clicked out. Of course it tripped. That's not earth, water, stupid mistake. Anyway, I think that is a really good point to close for today. Let's switch it off. I will come back to this another day. Obviously, well, I need to give it in now because I'm running out of time today. I know what I'm going to do next, and that is disassemble the flue to actually clean it. But to do that, I need to get some more roaster soaks, because I'm going to soak that stuff in some buckets overnight to be able to clean it out properly. The new radial fan will go on, and I will order a new drum motor. Even though the motor works, I know that there was an issue before I decommissioned this, before I got onto the loring. And again, I'll go through the parts and make sure that I've got the bits that I need. It's good that I've got the right bearings for the front and rear of the machine. I need to clear up the sight class and of course get into the inside of the machine to give that a really good cleanup as well. Before I can switch the thing on, I just want to hear the motors go on. I want to hear some noise. I will not yet do a fire up because I've got to clean the burner chamber, and one imagines I'll have to replace the burner electrodes, and that will take me a little bit of time. So I'll do that another day. Anyway, I hope this has been somewhat useful. Apologies if it's been a bit rambling, but that is me. I like to ramble and I like to muddle my way through things. Cheers.